So I thought we should start out with the vibe, feeling, the entire aura of the film that we are talking about today on this summer film fest that we are doing here on my channel. But before we do, let me change the lighting a bit in here so that it feels a little bit more professional. I think that's better, right? I think this fits a little bit more with the vibe that we're going for here. So let's talk about the very, very first film that we are talking about on Summer Film Fest. And it has to do a little bit with the John Wick universe. Yes, you already know it by the thumbnail. Now today we are talking about none other than Ballerina. Now before we go any further, I would like to say that if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure based on a review or somebody who actually works within the industry, it is said that Ballerina will officially be releasing on July 1st. Now, today is June 27th, so you guys can get an idea of when actually I saw this movie. But today's June 27th, aka my birthday, and I got to see it in theaters. Now, I know that it's closer to the end of its run, but it's said that this movie is possibly going to be releasing on July 1st, which means since by the time that you are going to be seeing this video, it's already going to be way past July 1st, and you'll be able to access this movie freely, then I will probably just say to you that spoilers will be in this, and you shouldn't worry about it. I'm not even going to put a spoiler warning on here because it's going to be openly available to everybody to watch, so makes it easier on all of us. So with that being said, let's get into it. So before I get into the entire film, I would like to go backwards a little bit. I'd like to talk about how Ana de Armas has been kind of building up to this. Now, when we first saw her do anything sort of action related, specifically, shootouts and that sort of thing, was in the last 007 film. So when you watch her in that movie, and I have to be very honest here, she probably was the best part of that movie. Hands down, there's like no competition. She was the best part of that 007 film. So honestly, to me, I was like, okay, she can do action. She's really good at action and can handle herself well in these sorts of situations. 2 thumbs up. What else can she do? And then afterwards, we got a movie called Ghosted, with her actually doing some more action as well, kicking absolute butt in that movie, although the movie wasn't all that good. Story-wise, it was kind of flat, it was kind of gimmicky in some places, and it was all around not the best movie that came out from Apple TV. And then, obviously, everybody heard, hey, Ana de Armas is going to be working on a new John Wick universe movie as the lead. And to my surprise, I was like, can she actually do a movie on her own? And I mean, I had no doubts whatsoever that she can do a movie on her own as the lead and kick butt. That's no question. But a John Wick style film would really surprise me. And to my surprise, Ballerina is probably one of the best action movies I have seen in a really long time. I think this movie has several things going for it. As a matter of fact, I think I haven't detected anything that I would say is a negative for this movie, which is saying a lot. It's saying a lot. I couldn't really find a real negative to say about this movie. So everything that I have for it is just pure praise. First off, let's talk about the story. I think that the story is so well fleshed out and based in some sense of reality, at least in the John Wick universe. It is based in a really nice reality. But I think even more so, I think that it achieves something that none of the other John Wick films, with the exception of the first one, was capable of doing. And that is making us truly care and giving the character purpose, enough purpose that makes me care about this character. And that's something that the last 3 John Wick films failed to do, honestly. Like, you go from John Wick 2, 3, and 4. They're great films. They have great visuals. There's a lot of great fight sequences. Awesome. But where's the substance? And I feel like the substance is kind of missing. If all the story is that he's just trying to escape the organization because he's a wanted criminal sort of within that world and he has to fight all these other people, if that's the story, okay, whatever. Fine. But it's not going to intrigue me as much. And Ballerina did way better than I could even imagine. To me personally, I was stepping into this movie thinking that this movie was not going to be like absolutely mind-blowing, that I was going to even like it or anything. I wanted to go see it because it kind of gave me the vibe that I wanted to go see. I wanted to go see an action film. Now, what I didn't want to go see is another John Wick film. And this is just not that. It's not another John Wick film. It has the John Wick feel, the John Wick motions of it, like the fight sequences are very similar to John Wick films. All those things are there. Those elements are there, but the story truly does really well. You really can't go too far with John Wick. You can't really make the story super convoluted. You just have to give people a simple story that fits, and you can build a character around that story. And they were able to do that in spades. Another thing that I have to say, and it's something that you will not see me ever badmouth about, and that is the cinematography of the world of John Wick. I am telling you this. All the John Wick films, all of them, stand out in the cinematography category. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite action sequences of the past maybe 5 years, I would say, is in the 4th John Wick film. And it's like a short part of that movie. The movie itself didn't blow my mind in terms of story, but that one sequence truly just made me think, holy cow, this is awesome. This is really awesome. Now, when it comes to Ballerina, honestly, cinematography, again, fantastic. Really does stand out. Little moments, little ideas, things that you can clearly see were well choreographed, camera-wise. Honestly, gotta give them props. They're fantastic at this, and it truly makes me feel immersed. Whenever I'm seeing something beautifully directed, honestly, really, it makes me want to be like, oh my god, I have to continue watching this. I don't want this to end, And I feel like the cinematography is at that high standard that any other of the John Wick films would have. And speaking of the action sequences in this film, I think that this entire film, redefines fight sequences in movies. At least it tries to do that. When we see Eve training, her trainer is very clear and very, open to it. She's saying, listen, you're much smaller than them. Use everything to your advantage. Cheat if you have to, and literally she says this word, fight like a girl. And in that sentence alone, it allows you to understand, okay, this person is much smaller than most of her opponents, so she's going to use everything to her disposal in order to be an equal match, if not overpower these people that she's trying to fight. And the fight sequences are just absolutely amazing. There's a few that you're going to watch and you're going to be laughing at just how brutal some of these moments are. One of the best moments that you see in the trailer, that's actually a fight sequence where you see her pulling the grenade, putting him behind a door, and the he just blows up behind the door. That sequence alone is really interesting, but the way that she gets out of it is really interesting as well. He blows up, but she put a hole through the wall. So now she can cross the wall and go into the next room to be able to, keep moving forward. Honestly, the people designing how this would play out, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And what she uses to her advantage is amazing. I mean, she uses plates to her advantage. She uses tables. She uses, she used a freaking, ice skate in this movie as a weapon. So, literally, there are multiple options that they could have gone in, and they went for the really wild and creative, and I love that about this film. Literally, it's one of those movies that you're waiting to see again. And that's how I felt after seeing all the fight sequences play out in this movie. Just absolutely awesome. But all of this would not have been as interesting if it were not for the lead of this film, Ana de Armas. She is, honestly, there's no other way to put it. And I don't normally curse on my channel. I don't curse on my channel at all. But for this one film, unfortunately, I will have to make the exception. She's fucking amazing in this movie. She throws herself into this role. It baffles my mind that she has that physicality to pull off these moves. I mean, obviously we saw her in 007 doing all of that, and then Ghosted, which was okay. But mainly in 007, we saw her physicality in that film and kicking ass every second of the way. Every time she's on scene in this movie, she's great in it. Her acting's great. Her approach to the character is great. Her ability to make you care for her in this movie is fantastic as well. She really does make you think about if I were in her position, I would do the same. She makes you think that. She makes you want to really connect with her, because she went through a traumatic thing. In this movie, she has to play somebody who went through this extremely traumatic moment in her life, and now she's out for revenge. So she does that really well in this movie. There are a few moments where it's kind of funny with her, it's almost comedic, and I think she handles it really well. It's a serious moment, but comedic things are happening, and it's just fantastic. It feels sometimes Looney Tunes physics that she's able to play in this sort of Looney Tunes physics type world as this character. And she easily stands on her own in this film really well. And I mean, honestly, props to her. I want to see more of her, in this franchise. And obviously, you cannot have a John Wick universe without the man himself, the Baba Yaga himself, Keanu Reeves. He shows up in this movie. Now, most people would say he doesn't show up for a very long time. Then again, this is not a John Wick film. If you're going into this film thinking, they're going to be all buddy-buddy, and it's going to be half of the film is going to be him in it, and it's going to be this thing that it's just him and her, and it's going to be a buddy cop. No. This is very much Eve's story. This is Ana de Armas' movie. Again, he is just a secondary character in this story, and we see where their stories cross paths. Where there's a connective tissue, and then again, he has to be there. But Keanu Reeves, aside from playing John Wick, he's fantastic in this film. He does kick a lot of ass in this film. even though that he's effectively in this movie, he's probably in about 25 minutes of the movie in total, and the movie's around 2 hours long, so then you can kind of get an idea. You know, he was used in this movie more like a contingency plan, and I mean, not in the sense of, you know, Keanu Reeves being in this movie, but the fact that John Wick is like a contingency plan for Eve. But then again, that's just part of the story. But he does great, kicks ass, is literally the John Wick that we all know, and they refer to him again as the Baba Yaga, the one that people fear the most, the one that nobody wants to mess with, including guards. Like, there's literally a quick little moment in this movie where you see like two enemies like talking to each other. It's like, oh, this is Suicide, this is John Wick, and then like the other guard is like, but it's just one man, and then like right after that happens, all hell breaks loose. So literally, Keanu Reeves being in this movie makes sense because it is a John Wick universe, and you need to have John Wick, whether you like it or not. Specifically, if it is a movie that is kind of passing the torch. But then again, I'll get to that a little bit later. Now, someone who shows up for a quick amount of time in this film is Norman Reedus. Yes, as we all know, Daryl from The Walking Dead. He is in this movie. I would say, like, his involvement in this movie, albeit short, is a good amount of involvement because he gets really physical in this movie for the short amount of time that he's in it. Very well choreographed moments with him. He literally kicks ass. Like, if you're already familiar with Daryl kicking ass, just take that and then triple it, and that's pretty much what you're going to see in this film. Norman Reedus is amazing. Even though he's there for a short amount of time, he offers sort of like, the best way to put it is that the MacGuffin that you need in order for this to happen, for it to actually move forward, is a child in this case. And I think it worked in a way, having him be the father of this child and having him, you know, kick ass, and then see that, you know, it's a different dynamic that he's going into, specifically when he's dealing with Eve. So fantastic to see Norman Reedus here. Can't wait to see him in future John Wick universe films. But yeah, definitely awesome to see Norman Reedus in this film. Now, I have to leave this little honorable mention at the very end here. It's a bit bittersweet, but it's necessary to talk about. And it's obviously Lance Reddick. Yeah, Lance Reddick pops up in this movie. You should see 2 little scenes with him, but it's nice to see him again on screen. And I mean, even though he passed away before the movie, you know, came out, I think that this is like one of those characters he's going to be remembered by. You know, to me, he's not just the guy from the Continental. He's also, you know, Silence from, you know, Horizon, which for me is also another piece of work that I know him from, that I actually enjoyed seeing him in, which is always, you know, a pleasure to see some of his work, whether I'm playing the game or watching the movies. So yeah, it was really nice to see Lance Reddick again on screen for this sort of like one of his final performances on screen, which was really nice to see. Now, I really pay attention sometimes to the reaction of, you know, the people who I'm with, specifically in the theater. Now, one thing I should say is that when I bought the tickets to see this movie, the theater was literally empty. When I bought it, it was like literally just us, and the entire room was empty. I had no clue how many people were going to be in that theater. And honestly, I was in a room with probably another 30 people, which was insane to even think about, because this movie's already at the very end of its run and people are going to go see this movie, which means that it has enough traction that people are still going to see it even in its final weeks of being in theaters. So it's really cool to see that this film is doing well with audiences, even as critics, even on critic scores. I mean, the Rotten Tomatoes score is fantastic. I mean, it's certified fresh, and certified hot, I think. That's what it's, certified fresh and certified hot. So, truly, I mean, this movie, with critics and audiences alike, is a hit. And to me, that is a sign that this film, more than likely, will possibly get a sequel. And that, to me, is a huge plus. And, going back to how people reacted in this movie, everybody who we were in, this small theater with, we were in the dine-in theater, which is the smaller of the theaters. And it was really interesting to see all these people having a good time, enjoying the film. But mostly for me personally, it was seeing my dad reacting to this film, which for my dad to find like more modern films super exciting, it's a tough call. It's a tough, thing to bite down on. Specifically when I go to see a movie and then afterwards he's like, yeah, it was all right. It was okay. When we finished this film, my dad was like, dude, that movie was great. It was fun. It was exciting. The story was good. They built out the characters. And to me, that is a sign that not only did he like it, but like other people who have the same mentality of like, I'm just tired of going to see the same thing all over again, are more than likely wanting to go see this film in theaters. And to me, I like to see that because it shows that people are excited and that ultimately we could get a sequel with this film, as well as another way of, picturing it, in terms of the industry itself. So I would be very excited. As a matter of fact, we should have a new Ballerina film like by next year, if not the year after. We should have the sequel to Ballerina. And I think that's where I want to go next. And if it was up to me, I think that this is definitely sort of how do I say this? It's like an appetizer. This movie would be the equivalent of an appetizer for people who want to see something new in the future, specifically when it comes to Ana de Armas in this film, in this series, and ultimately wanting to have and open up her own series. Now, listen, we're going to have Keanu Reeves kicking butt a lot. As a matter of fact, there's already rumors being spread around that there may be a sequel in the works for John Wick. So, I mean, after you see Parabellum, I think that's Parabellum, right? The fourth chapter of John Wick. After you see the fourth chapter of John Wick, the way it ends kind of indicates that, if you know what I mean. So, honestly, for me, when I see that they were developing a new one and they're trying to find a way of bringing him back, it's interesting, and I get it because this movie and the franchise itself is kind of successful here and there. But I do see where they might want to put Ana de Armas as the new face of the John Wick universe. Like, this could be sort of like a passing of the torch to her, so that Keanu Reeves can work on other projects while we get an Ana de Armas John Wick style film in this universe, which makes sense. And honestly, for me, if they were to announce a sequel to this film, I would more than likely be interested in going to the theaters and watching it. Meaning, I would like to invest in a new Ballerina film, a part 2 or just a Ballerina 2 film. I'd be down for that. So if they would like to do that, that would be super cool. Or maybe even add her to the new John Wick film as sort of like a, buddy in a way. But I don't think that they should do that. I think that they should push forward and build a new franchise with her as the face of this sort of new John Wick branch world universe story. So that's what I think. I think that they should definitely expand this. But definitely, this movie will stick with me. I think that Ballerina will definitely stick with me. It excited me. It really made me excited for the future of the John Wick universe. It made me want to go and probably rewatch the first John Wick film. And I really do want to see more of Ana de Armas in this role. I love seeing women kick ass, and she does it, again, in spades in this film. And I really do want to see a future where Ballerina gets her own sequel. Now, something that I want to add here into this new kind of thing that we're doing here with the whole Summer Film Fest on the Movie Savant channel is sort of like, how can I say this? A thermometer of sense, where I am going to be rating a movie based on a thermometer. So I would say that this movie, Ballerina, will probably be somewhere closer to about, let's see here, maybe here. That's where I would probably put it. Somewhere around the kind of really hot category, because it's a great film. It's a great film, worthy of your time. If it comes out on digital, buy it on digital. Buy it or rent it on digital and watch it over and over again. Tell your friends to go buy it, because it's just that good. It's just that good of a film that you deserve to go see it, either on a big screen or a small screen at home. So invest in this film, because it deserves that. It truly deserves that. Or when it comes out on streaming, stream it. But that is what I think of this movie. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear specifically from you what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy this film if you've watched it, if you have not watched it, and you want to see more? Tell me. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your ideas down below. What do you think a second film for Ballerina would be like? What are the storylines do you see being branched in? If you did not see Ballerina, why would you not want to see Ballerina? Or why would you think that this is the wrong direction for this specific movie? Or if you think it's the right direction for this film, what else would you like to see her do in the future, in a future movie about Ballerina, if not as a joint venture with John Wick? Who knows? I want to hear from you down in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when new videos go live on this channel. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next Summer Film Fest video.
Scrolling through YouTube, same old routine, then bam, movie savant, what a scene. Trivia bombshells dropping knowledge like rain. Forget the dishes, gotta watch it again. Movie buffs unite, savants to place. Subscribe and hit the bell, don't leave a trace. Next level knowledge keeps you in the loop. Savants got the scoop, ain't nothing to recoup.